How did the Jews end up occupying Palestine? And when did they come there? And who helped them? And did the Palestinians sell them land? And where were they before they came to Palestine? So I will try to share with you in the next few minutes a very, very summarized version of the history of Jews. So our Palestinian brothers and sisters have been living in Palestine for more than 3,500 years. It used to be known as the land of Canaan. So they've been there for thousands and thousands of years. As for the Jews, they never ever had their own land. They've been wandering, whether in Egypt or in Europe, in Asia, and even in Arabia. And you don't have really to do a lot of research to figure out if they had their own land as a nation. They have been just moving from one nation to another, in many cases causing mischief, corruption, and a lot of evil acts. So as a result, they will be asked to leave. So for example, Jews lived in Arabia, near Medina, in Al-Khaybar, or also a place called Wadi Al-Qura. The known tribes like Bani Nadir, Bani Qaynuqa, and so on. And in fact, Bani Nadir tried to assassinate our Prophet ﷺ. So Jews have historically been known to be involved in a lot of mischief. So in 13th century, for example, in Britain, they were asked to put on yellow badges to identify them from the rest of the population. And King Edward I killed hundreds and hundreds of Jews, and he kicked them out of Britain in 1290. So Russia segregated Jews and put them in ghettos. They also kicked out from Belgium in 1347. They were kicked out of France in 1592, from Spain in 1492, Italy 1567, Germany 1570, and so on. So they were never able to settle in a place permanently. So at the same time, the Jews that were living in the Islamic world, they were living in peace, harmony, doing their usual business without being bothered. So how did the state of Israel as we know it today, or occupied Palestine, came to be? It all started in 1897. So a conference was held in Switzerland by a leader called Theodor Herzl. So he set up this conference. He was very influential, very rich, and he had, of course, with him others. And during this conference, they came up with a program. They call it the Basel program. Basically, it's a way forward to have the Jews moved into a land. So they started with Sultan Abdulhamid II. They requested him to give part of Palestine to Jews, and he flatly refused. But after the First World War, the Ottoman Empire collapsed, and Palestine became a British protectorate. So in 1917, the famous declaration that we hear a lot, the Balfour Declaration, was made, and during that period we started seeing a lot of mass immigration. By the way, there were only 2% Jews living before the 19th century. So there was this mass migration with the help from the British Empire, and they never ever did the Arabs sell lands to the Jews, as we will hear in some cases. Yeah, this is not true. They resisted, they refused. Resistance has been going in Palestine for the last 100 years. So in 1948, State of Israel was declared, and what we are witnessing today of mass massacre and to the Palestinian women and children is really painful. And we pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala أن ينصر إخواننا وأخواتنا في غزة, وإن شاء الله soon we'll see victory, and it will be the end of this Zionist entity. وجزاكم الله خيرا.